Well, since the Batman Part 2 got delayed or possibly cancelled, let's celebrate it with talking about my favorite Batman movie franchise of all time. Or should I say, Trilogy, and with the bonus. So, today's movie review is not gonna be a double feature like the title of the video says it. It's a triple feature, plus the bonus review. So, let's talk about Dark Knight Trilogy, which is one of my favorite trilogy of all time. I hope Zootopia will end as a trilogy too. Anyway, that's a different topic. So, Batman Begins, start of the Dark Knight Trilogy, released in 2005, directed by Christopher Nolan, and stars Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy, Katie Holmes, and Liam Neeson, Gary Oldman, all great actors we all know and love. The plot is basically like it says in the title, is Batman Begins in this universe, which is his origin story. Again, shown again. But this is probably one of the best Batman movies since the Tim Burton's Batman released in 1989. These two are probably one of the best Batman standalone movies ever. Batman vs Superman doesn't count because that's technically a versus film, even though it has Batman characters as an introduction. But that's a different good movie, so that's a different spot on. Like, anyway. So Batman Begins, like I said, it shows his origin, which is done pretty well and comic accurate. Which is trained by Ra's al Ghul, and of course he has to conquer his fears. Surprisingly, his fears is bats. Batman's scared of bats? Are they serious? That's my reaction when I first watching this movie. But it doesn't matter, it didn't harm anything. Christian Bale was fantastic as Bruce Wayne / Batman. He's a playboy billionaire and also the mysterious Dark Knight at night. Also, Michael Caine, who was now retired, but was also one of the best Alfred before Jeremy Irons. He was my favorite Alfred. Like one of the most loyal, sweetest Alfred. So, and also this movie has, surprisingly, they show us the villains that we haven't seen on the other Batman movies yet. Especially animated feature films. Especially in the 66 television series. So, but the Scarecrow was originally going to be in the original Batman anthology movies, which is going to be Joel Schumacher's third Batman movie called Batman Triumphant. But you know, since Batman and Robin got poor reception, so it unfortunately got cancelled. Scarecrow was played by Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy, how you pronounce that? He did a great job. Like, he feels like he is the Scarecrow. And Christopher Nolan must be take this idea from, you know, his scenes in the Batman animated series. You know, Something to Fear, I think that's the name of the episode. You know, Scarecrow's first episode in the animated series. When I watched the animated series, I was like, this looks familiar. Is Christopher Nolan a Batman animated series fan? Not only a comic fan? Who knows? And also the other villain, Ra's al Ghul, played by, you know, I'm gonna spoil anyway, since you've seen this movie, right? If you haven't, screw the review and watch the movies. Liam Neeson plays Ra's al Ghul. First he plays Henry Ducard, but as a decoy or something. But his decoy was actually presumably Ra's al Ghul. But he wasn't Ra's al Ghul, so Liam Neeson turns out to be Ra's al Ghul at the third act. I thought that was a good twist. I didn't see that one coming. And also the new character I didn't know what in the comics was Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman, which is I thought it's a great character too. After all, Morgan Freeman is a great actor and he did a great job. And Gary Oldman was good as Commissioner Gordon too. Like, when I see the flashback with young Bruce Wayne when he gives him a coat, that was a sweet emotional moment. And of course, this Batman's parents' death scene was gut-wrenching them all. from Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Even that was visually good, but this one is emotionally good. So, as for the actions, it's shot well. It's shot well done. Everything is great. Like, nothing is in this movie is terrible. Like, it's amazing. Best Batman movie since '89. I'll give this one 5 tumblers. Now, as for the sequel, The Dark Knight, it's something else. Like, if you want to compare this to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, then you can't, because these two are good by their own ways. Like, Dark Knight, probably one of the best superhero movie of all time. Like, it's good as Spider-Man 2. Dark Knight, which is also finally show us one of the greatest villains of all time, which is Joker and Two-Face, and they done well, like perfectly. Of course, Joker is played by late Heath Ledger. And if somebody tells me like, Khan, who's your favorite Joker? I'll rank them as my favorite 3 Jokers. Like, number 3 is Jack Nicholson, number 2 is Jared Leto, and number 1, Heath Ledger. Like, his scenes are so great, like some kind of presence to it. Like, you can't take your eyes off of him. Like, Heath Ledger isn't trying to be like the comic version of the Joker. Like, he's trying to be like the better version of the Joker. Like, all the... God, he was so good. And of course, I was devastated by he never seen the movie as a live person. But up there, he probably saw it and was very proud of it. I have a feeling. And the plot is basically that this movie, well, it's like a crime drama, but with Batman, like James Rolfe says in the James Among Mondays episode in Batman NES playthrough. The movie has about mob, and meanwhile the Joker, mob again, the Joker, mob, Joker, and then the Two-Face, which is, this is the probably most amazing Two-Face. Aaron Eckhart is probably best Two-Face in the motion picture, like better than Tommy Lee Jones. Like, Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face, it makes me want to say, release the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. Come on, Warner Dip Craps, do it! I want to see darker version of Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face. But Aaron Eckhart was something else. Even though he became Two-Face at the 3rd act, it doesn't gonna harm anything. His performance was good. Of course, the Katie Holmes was recast by Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is a brother of Jack Gyllenhaal from Spider-Man Far From Home. Mysterio. That's right, she's his older sister. I didn't know that, to be honest. So, the thing that happened is maybe Katie Holmes' contract expired or something. I don't know why she got recasted. I don't know. But anyway, Dark Knight has, like I said, is the best sequel of all time. Has some great actions. And of course, The Dark Knight has the sad scenes, of course. Not only Rachel Dawes' death, but of course the ending of the movie gives me chills and emotions. You know, when Jim Gordon delivers a dialogue about the Dark Knight, the watchful protector. That was a great ending. I'll give this movie 5 bad pots. And of course, we get to the final installment, which is Dark Knight Rises. When I watched Dark Knight, I had no idea if there's going to be a continuation. And it did happen. Which is Dark Knight Rises is, guess what? It's another 5-star out of 5 movie. Yeah. But I bet you guess what rating I'm going to give this movie. Anyway. This time the villain will be Bane and Catwoman. And of course Talia al Ghul. Sorry for the spoilers, but what are you gonna do? And there are some other villains returning too, like Scarecrow. He appeared in The Dark Knight also, and he returned on this one. So Scarecrow is the only villain returning to every installment. Even Ra's al Ghul makes an appearance as the 2 scenes, one with Liam Neeson and one with the younger actor. Anyway, Dark Knight Rises takes place at 8 years after The Dark Knight. And this movie has some Dark Knight Returns and Nightfall elements into it, which is really amazing. And of course, this is the movie lots of people want to compare to Rocky 3, which is about losing and then getting up and re-win. That's the word, right? Re-win or just winning again. So yeah, it's about explains by the title, Fall and Rise, which is Dark Knight Rises. This is probably one of the epic conclusions than any other trilogy since Back to the Future Part 3, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And there is lots of great scenes too, like there is Batman and Bane's first time fighting without any music. I thought that done was pretty well. And of course, Bane played by Tom Hardy, which is a interesting choice, but he did a good job. Of course, he was good. But one thing I don't get is his voice. Like, do you really can understand what I'm saying right now? I understand some of his words, but not a lot of it, to be honest. And there's a new vehicle, of course, the supposedly Batwing called the Bat is also looking good. It's like a tumbler, but also hovering version of tumbler. It's cool as Batpod. And of course, this movie has another twist, not only the villain, but another character. That's right. Robin is in this movie, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I hope I pronounced his last name right. If I don't, I'm so sorry. Like his reveal happened at the end of the movie, but does he become Robin after Batman retires? Or he becomes Batman after that? Anything's possible in that universe, but it's ended right there perfectly. We don't need to see another story from this universe. Maybe fan fiction, maybe. So as for the rating for this movie, I'll say, as you expected, 5 the bats out of 5. Now for the bonus review, which is Batman Gotham Knight. You're probably wondering that, Khan, what is this? It's an animated movie. It's an anime actually, but why is it in this video? Well, hold out to your horses because I'm getting to that. This movie is actually not the other than Dark Knight movie, but as an anime, which takes place before Dark Knight and takes place after the Batman Begins. Yeah, I didn't know that this movie always exists. So it's a quadrilogy, you can say, maybe. Jonathan Nolan worked on the story. Also has some new villains like Deadshot, Killer Croc, and also has Cassandra Cain. And oh, holy crap, there's more characters that didn't appear in the actual trilogy. That's a shame. Anyway, it's actually 6 episode of anthology movie, 6 parts actually, and it's a pretty good actually, but not good as the actual trilogy, to be honest with you. It was good, but not good as the other ones. Of course, Kevin Conroy's Batman voice is in this movie. Yeah, Kevin Conroy did a voice for this movie, and it make it worthwhile. But as for the rating, I'll give it 4 copies of Batman Gotham Knights out of 5. 4, that's all. So, this is my longest movie review I ever did so far. I can't imagine what Harry Potter movie reviews will be. So, if I take your time too long, my apologies. Now, excuse me, I gotta go get some rest. And, oh, you expecting a joke, are you? Well, oh, I know what to do. Oh God! Oh God! James Gunn! He's everywhere!